Okay, welcome to another episode of Here for the Talk podcast. I got my man John with me.
Yo,
It's Darwin Hurtado here, and we're here for the talk. How are you, my boy?
Gucci. Had a long day at work.
Tell me about it, bro.
Yo, still, I'm trying to work out. Have yet to work out. Want to hit the gym so bad.
This weather's
How
so
about you? You said what?
this weather's so ass.
Oh no, that's a fact. This is crazy. But you know what? You know what's not ass?
Was not ass.
Hoops. Hoops
Who?
is not
That's a
ass.
fact, bro. I'm not gonna
And
lie.
who's the face of hoops? LeBron James.
King
Speaking
James.
of LeBron James, right? So boom, LeBron, right? Defying father time. Every single year he continues to play the game of basketball. Not only is he playing amazing in the Olympics, right?
Yes.
He just plays amazing in the NBA as well.
Yo, what's his new nickname?
Oh, I think it's
Captain what?
I think it's probably Captain America. I'm pretty sure what it is.
Yeah.
Captain
That's what
America.
I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing.
Man, it's
Yes.
a damn shame that he's being taken for granted because like
Talk.
these past few years, just because he's getting older and older, everybody's just like, oh, you know,
When is he gonna
LeBron,
retire?
yeah, like is he gonna retire or Bron shouldn't even like it shouldn't even last this long. Like we don't got to deal with this fuckery anymore for any longer. But he just keeps proving these people wrong. It's to the point where he's literally next season he's about to play with his own kid
Yo,
at a
look.
high level. Not that he's not gonna be like one of these people where he's playing with his kid and he's ass. No, LeBron's gonna play with his
And
kid
he better
and
not
he's
be
gonna play
soft
at a
on
high
Bronny,
level.
bro. He better not be soft on Bronny, bro. Like I need Bronny to day one, bro. Like be ready to go, cause bro, Bron be on go.
Like the fact that people be hating and stuff, it's to the point where they're even saying like they don't even think LeBron is top 10 anymore, which is insane. Like
It's
it's
crazy, crazy.
as I'm saying, like not on I like first of all, I don't even think LeBron would play to a point in his career where he's not even top 10 anymore. I think like he'll retire before he's out of the top 10. Like
Nah, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a fact. Like,
like like he's not gonna play when he's out of the top 10. Like I just don't see that happening.
yeah.
But speaking of top 10, you want to go ahead and give the viewers, our top 10 list? You want
Yes,
to start
sir.
off?
Yes,
Uh,
sir. So I'm about to bless you guys. We're looking at this. My top 10. Number one, I'm gonna have to go with the reigning MVP, Nikola Jokic. Number two, I'm gonna have to go with my man Giannis. Number three, I'm gonna have to give it to Luka Doncic. Oh, got the king. Number five, I got KD. Six, I got Steph Curry. Seven, I got Embiid, Joel Embiid. Number eight, I got my man Jason Tatum. Number nine, I'm gonna go with my man SGA. And at 10, I got a two-way tie at the moment. My hands is tied. I got Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards,
and then who? You can say
Jalen
it again because you was
Brunson.
actually. Oh, Jalen, you're tweaking.
Brunson,
You're tweaking. You're tweaking. Tweaking.
never.
My
Jalen.
list is pretty similar to yours, besides that Jalen Brunson thing.
Nah, I
I
want to
just
hear it. I want to hear you
yeah,
say it for the fans here,
tweaking.
for everybody in the cheap seats right now. I need you to bless them, and they need to hear your top 10, bro. And
All right,
hey,
so
you could also mention your honorable mentions. You know,
I'm gonna mention them for real. All right, so boom, starting off my list at number one, I got Joker. I got Giannis at number two. And three and four, I got it's interchangeable. I got Luca and Joel Embiid. Luca, I want to say he's a little bit more consistent than Joel Embiid. But there's at times where just like Luca's mentality just gets in the way. Like
yeah,
he
I know
like
what you mean. Yeah,
like he just gets he gets his own way, but he's just like an unstoppable force,
that's a fact.
right?
Yeah,
Now another unstoppable force, Joel Embiid. What gets in his way is him not being able to be healthy. But
Yeah.
like both of them healthy, I feel like Joel Embiid is better than Luka. But like I said, it's interchangeable to 3 and 4 is interchangeable. Luka
Okay.
and Joel.
Gotcha.
Number 5, you know, I got Jason Tatum.
Ooh.
Boy
Oh,
just won a chip.
yes, sir. Okay.
You know, complete player basically. Came in polished. Only thing he really needs to do is just get
Yes,
out his own way. Just like yo,
honestly, definitely.
become the man. Just like yo, be that guy. As soon as he gets the confidence he needs to consistently play at a high level like he's supposed to, and not have these games where he just disappears, I feel like he's gonna be over Joel Embiid and over Luka, and giving Giannis and Joker a run for their money.
Yeah.
Number 6, I got Shea. Number 7, 8, and 9 is interchangeable. I got Braun, KD, Steph, and the three goats of our time.
Um, they've definitely been holding it down for like just this generation and just like the way that they influence the game in their own way. The fact that they're still doing it, like I see posts all the time about like, oh, like they're on their way out and how age is gonna catch up to them. And it's just like, bro, like all you want to do as a fan is kind of just go against that because you just always want to see them play, especially at
Mm-hmm.
a high level. Obviously Steph Curry is like in a situation right now where it's just like, let's see if the Warriors like put a team together for him to like, give them at least a chance to win. Like we've seen Steph Curry when the lights are bright, like he's shown up. I'm gonna be honest with you, he's shown up. KD, you look at him, he has a situation where, like they really just got to get their whole team situated. They have two men, they focus too much on offense and don't focus enough on defense. And I think that is
Mm-hmm.
gonna hurt you come playoff time, especially when obviously people are like players are obviously scoring at the highest level, and you got to find an answer for that. Um, and then obviously until they do that, I don't see, KD and the Suns, winning, at least not right now. But obviously KD's my man, and all I want him to do is, obviously go out there and kill. And then as for Braun, topic at hand, it's like you said, he is defeating Father Time and time again. Me, I've been known to be a big LeBron hater a couple years ago, and to be fair, I'm here and I respect him. He's won me over as a fan. And he didn't do it like, oh, he played this game and he went crazy. Oh, I saw that game, that's why I became a fan. Like it's progressively like, the more I see Braun, the more like I appreciate his game. And on top of that, he's dominating literally for Team USA, and like the whole world is watching it, and it's just like we're all asking this question: is like, when is he gonna hang it up? People like all over like social media, just in sports talk in general, like they're always wondering like, yo, what's next for LeBron? Does LeBron still have a chip in him? I told you
Mm-hmm.
yesterday, bro, I honestly feel like LeBron got one more. And every single time I say this, he gives me another reason to believe that he could win too. Like, you know what I mean? And like
Mm-hmm.
you look at that and that's saying a lot, especially when you're playing at a high level at age 39. LeBron's
For
gonna
for as
40.
long as he's been playing, it's ridiculous.
LeBron's about to be 40 in December, and like that shit's gonna hit us and we're gonna be like, yo, Bron is really 40. Obviously everything works out for him, obviously no injuries. We never want no injuries for any players, but like if he stays healthy, or like let's say like he has a regular season where he's like coasting through the regular season and like preserving his energy for the playoffs, which he's been doing pretty much. Sky's the limit for LeBron. I didn't think I would be here saying this, but like LeBron has really like, like really opened some eyes, not some, maybe all of our eyes. And I think when it's all said and done, we're just gonna be looking back and just appreciating LeBron and knowing that like moments like this, like for those that are out there that are sleeping on LeBron, bro, wake up because
Cat.
like, bro, that dude's a dog. And to be honest with you, he just gives you every single reason to just believe that he's just gonna do something like, spectacular.
And then to just finish my list off, the last spot, I got Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, when healthy, just straight dominant on both sides of the floor.
Ball,
Like it is very few people that could compete with Anthony Davis when he's healthy. Like,
bro.
and the only reason why he's even this low is because consistency and health issues. But besides that, when he got
Yeah,
it going, very few people in the league that could fuck with him.
yeah,
Even
literally.
even and even fewer that could fuck with him when he's healthy. So it's just like,
But I definitely agree with you. AD definitely has a strong argument to be in top 10 for sure.
and then I got two honorable mentions that the recent like the way that they've been playing. I got Jalen Brown and Anthony Edwards, two dogs for my honorable mention, just outside the top 10 list. I feel like they have a chance, both of them, to one of them at least to crack the top 10 spot this upcoming season and pushing Anthony Davis out. Like if with the run, the momentum that Jalen Brown got going right now, if he does what I think he's gonna be doing, he could definitely get that top 10 spot. Anthony Edwards, we saw what he was doing. You know, like come on now.
He gets more minutes than some of the players in the top 10 right now. I'm not gonna name no names, but hey, in the top 10, he playing more than a lot of those players in Team USA. I'll tell you that much. But he's definitely he's definitely coming, bro. Like let's be real. I feel like we just got a sneak peek of it the last 2 years of just him in the playoffs and just seeing how like showtime he is and like box office he really is. He's one of those players that I just see answering the call. Um, I honestly believe that, given like he doesn't have the worst situation right now, don't get me wrong, but you add a couple more pieces in the Timberwolves and I'm gonna be honest with you, they could be a serious finals contender,
No,
especially with
for
that
real.
defense. Like that defense was suffocating this year. I saw teams like bump into that defense and like I never see NBA players get locked like that. But like when they're passing the ball, nobody has an answer for the defense, it's gonna hurt them, And obviously they went to game 7 with the Nuggets. And like who wants to go game 7 with the defending champs? I know I don't, to be fair. Like, and honestly, you look at that series and again came down to game 7, and who answered the call game 7? Ant-Man. And the Timberwolves are down in that game, like 15 or 20 points. So it's just like they put together a magical run and, they obviously locked up when they needed to lock up. Obviously in
Mhm.
that series against the Mavericks, you just saw like the Mavericks just had the momentum in that series. They had no answer for Luca and Kyrie. I know I just mentioned their defense, but me personally, like I don't know what happened to their defense in that series. Like Kyrie and Luca were just like picking them apart, like literally just
No,
picking them.
for real.
Like I just hope everything goes good for him. Obviously with his situation with his team, I hope they just progressively get better because I know a lot of teams like when they have a star player and they see like the potential and they see like how he's performing on the big stage, sometimes they get complacent. They might not want to add another piece. They might just want to wait and wait and wait. And I feel like his time is right now. Obviously, he's young. He's like 22, 23. So it's just like, bro, like we're just getting ready to see a lot of Anthony Edwards, bro. Honestly.
Mhm. With that, our both our top tens is, the next segment I want to get into is players who used to be top 10, right? In a couple of years getting ready to retire. But unfortunately, these players they don't have a ring. So, basically the next segment is like who are two players that you have in mind, right? That you wish could that you could see them win a ring before they retire.
I look at a player like Westbrook, where, I always used to look at him as like a stat pat, but obviously now looking back and being able to, know what I know now. And it's just like Westbrook is like at the end of the day, Westbrook is the player that you want when it comes out to showing the heart, wanting to be out there to play for his teammates, and he's just a dog. Like we all like we can all troll and come at him for like when he's on his lows and stuff, but when he's on those highs, like he just takes us back to like like old Westbrook, and I know that he doesn't have that same burst that he used to have. He probably doesn't even move. He definitely doesn't move the way he used to. But obviously, you look at a player now that he's with the Nuggets. My number one on my list, Jokic. You're playing with him. You're playing with Jamal Murray. Guys that already won them. Like anybody they bring in, they make sure that they know what's up. They know the offense. Jokic gonna throw you some. Jamal gonna throw you some. Sometimes they might play Jamal Murray really, really high, and they might have a lineup with him and Westbrook right there. Like yo, like that's already easy buckets right there in the paint. And Westbrook can still get to it on the fast break. I'm just mentioning things that I honestly believe that Westbrook can bring to a team. And I honestly think that this is the best position that he's been in a while to win a championship. And again, as somebody that middle school, high school, and even now, all I've known is Westbrook. He's always been one of those top-notch point guards, and obviously he's broke records. He's left his mark on the league before. So that's definitely one.
So real quick, you know, I don't want to talk too long because I could talk about both of these players for hours. Because like these two are my favorite players. I don't care about top 10, none of that, like all time. Like
All
I'm not
time,
gonna
all time.
for the time that they were playing at the age that I was while I was watching them. I grew in love. I fell in love with their style of play. So first player is Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose. Show. Oh my God, Derrick Rose.
Yeah, I think I know who the second one is, but
The,
go.
I could, like I said, I could talk for hours about Derrick Rose. Like it's like the biggest what if. I don't
What
care about
if?
nobody. I don't
Biggest what
there's
if?
no bigger what if in the NBA to me than Derrick Rose. I don't care what argument anybody has.
That's a
He
fact.
is the biggest what if. Like I don't care. Like you're gonna talk to a wall when you're talking about what ifs with me and Derrick. And like I don't care. Second player is James Harden. Boy, James Harden. Oh my God. So
Fear the
I guess I'm
beard.
not gonna talk too long because I could talk for hours and hours about both of these players. But
Well, I know.
James Harden, pretty like just to list a couple of things he's done. Um, take the best team ever assembled to a 7-game series. Like no one has done that. Like you had the KD Warriors. Like he took that to a 7-game series. Now, understandable, he's not the he's choked in the playoffs here and there. That's okay, true. That's fine. But you gotta understand during that playoff run or that series specifically, actually, if y'all go look at the games that was like taking place, the refs were meat riding the
Oh,
Warriors. It was like they were literally playing. They literally had the whistles in their mouth for the Warriors to win every single game. It was ridiculous. Like it was to the point where even some people in the NBA were saying like, "Yo, like the rest was dick riding." Like it was like you could tell. Like and in the last game, the game 7, where the Rockets missed like 27 3-pointers.
yeah. You talk about those Rockets players because you showed me that box score and that. Yeah, I remember you showing me that box score. There was a lot of no show. It was hard and stuff, literally
It was just
playing.
like it's like bro, like yes, Harden like at times choked in the playoffs, but it's like he can only do so much, and he lost Chris Paul. So it's
He
like
did. He
so
did.
it's like you want
And
him to
Chris
on
Paul
the
was on a
fly
high
change
that
real quick, and then his supporting cast doesn't show up. It's just like, what do you want him to do? He lost his duo, and then his supporting cast doesn't show up. But here you are, you're going against Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, like Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. Like, what do you want him to do? Like, what?
Nah,
He
to
took
be
him to
honest with
seven
you, I feel like
games,
Harden probably gave it all he could because I'm looking right now. Harden for that game, he shot 12 for 29 and he had 32 points. Shit.
bro. Like what are we talking? Like James, like bro. Like I said, bro. I'm gonna let you go because if I keep going, I'm gonna go back to Derrick Rose and I'm gonna go about
Trevor
James Harden.
Ariza,
I
0
could talk
for
about
12.
both of them forever, bro. Like
Trevor Ariza, 0 for 12.
that's what I'm saying. Like, what do we? Oh my god.
Eric Gordon, 9 for 22. Gerald Green, 1 for 7 off the bench. And then, yeah, bro, you guys literally had like a 7-man rotation out there. Like, Harden shot 2 for 13, 3. Sheesh. Yeah, but I definitely, bro, that series, obviously, if you look back at it, like, obviously it was 7 games. So it was obviously like, if Chris Paul doesn't go down, obviously, I know you've brought up obviously Derrick Rose being a what if, but if we're talking about what ifs as a team, like a lot of people ask, like, yo, what if Chris Paul never got hurt? Do the Warriors even make it? Do the Rockets beat the 2018 Cavs? And shit could have been completely different. Obviously, shit went the way it went. At the end of the day, the better team, in my opinion, won. But it's just like what you said, bro. Like that's literally, if not this team ever, like probably top three, like literally. So yeah, bro, it's ass. But to get back to Harden, bro, like where can I start, bro? Like Harden has had so many moments with me where it's just like I'm rooting for him on my highest of highs, and then he'll have a moment where it's just like he's over here trying to think he's better than everybody instead of just, playing his role and, just buying in. And I feel like a lot of players, and I'm about to get into Chris Paul, is that some players just don't know how to buy in. They might buy in for like half a season and then like after the All-Star break, they might just be on their like on their selfish shit and like, like getting wrapped up in the media and stuff. I think there's too many times that NBA players like let like the outside noise like really affect them, and Chris Paul is somebody that's gotten so much criticism and scrutiny over the league of just how he is as a person, how he is with the refs. People even say that he's a dirty player sometimes, you know. Yeah, like Chris Paul needs to realize that, bro, you're not getting any younger. Like Chris Paul, if you see this, bro, you're hearing me tell you, you're not getting any younger, bro. So like you obviously, I know you're in a situation right now where you're about to go to the Spurs, and you know how I've already been saying, I'm gonna save my bold prediction for like when the season starts, so don't worry. But I'm thinking great thoughts for CP3 and his future. I think that this year with the Spurs, he's gonna put a lot of young players in a good position. Um, He's probably going to be a piece that they move probably at the trade deadline. There's always teams looking for that vet. And sometimes you never know. He might go to a situation where he might be with the Lakers, and giving whatever he has left, for a Lakers team that again, you just get LeBron and AD there, they're giving you a chance. I brought this up yesterday too. The Nuggets, KCP, he's already been on a podcast saying that they shouldn't have beat the Lakers last year. And we look at a team, if you take LeBron and AD off that Lakers team from this past year, they're dog shit. Dog shit. They're not doing nothing against the Nuggets. They might as well not even show up to the arena if they don't have LeBron and AD. But that just goes to show you that those two as a duo takes you a long way. So I hope that CP3 could get his act together because again, it's like sit up here and talk about a lot of Clippers. We could talk about the what if Houston Rockets, the best situations that you just had. You just had a season last year where you were up and down, you weren't really healthy, but you got to be on the sideline to Steph Curry. This guy has won it. You to see him come in, work out, leave the gym, come in, work out.
I wouldn't say that was his best opportunity. I say like out of
No, I'm
all
not saying that.
opportunities he
No, no, no,
had,
no. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I said that his best opportunities was with the Clippers in Houston. With the
nah,
Warriors, it was kind of like one of those like, all right,
I
like
beg to
yo,
differ.
see how like a real point guard right now that's dominating still is still doing it, and I feel like that can help, And I
I beg
think
to
go to
differ.
the
I feel like
Spurs.
his best opportunity was with the Suns because he went to the finals.
I mean, but that's just the team that I didn't mention. But to be fair, let's just add them in: the Clippers, the Houston, and the Suns. Put it like that. But as of right now, I'm gonna talk about him on the Spurs. And again, like I said, I feel like he's gonna help. He's gonna help the youth over there. And I feel like other teams around the league are gonna take recognition to that. And who doesn't want a player that's gonna make your young guys more confident and put them in their spots? because you need that. Like to be honest with you, like you never know who's gonna step up for whatever team, especially in the playoffs. And I still think that Chris Paul can get it done in the playoffs. Again, he doesn't need to be your number one option. Probably doesn't even need to be your second option. But just the fact that he's out there, and I still think that he's still a great floor general, think that he can lead team. And those are my two. I want to win. Shit, you give me probably another day to think about more names. I could definitely get you.
I could tell you right now another person who I
Like
want to
it's a
win.
laundry list of names
No,
that I
no,
haven't even
but
like
yo, the
touched.
ultimate name
Those are
past
the
my
main
favorite
ones. Those
two.
are the main ones.
My favorite two, which is Derrick Rose and James Harden. The ultimate name, the guy who we've been talking about for quite a while this episode, the GOAT, the GOAT, LeBron James. Him,
He got
bro.
four of them
What I
things.
would give to see him win one more ring,
Who
one more
knows,
ring.
bro? Who knows? Maybe one of those players that you just named, he might help them and get them that ring, bro. You never know. Like you literally just never know with the NBA, bro. Like you literally just never know. But that's why you got to be optimistic. That's how I am. Westbrook, this is like my first time in a minute. I'll be honest with you, just in a minute that I feel like he's actually in a position where like he can grow as a player and he can offer what he has to that team. And I just think that that team is just like they're just so locked in as a actual like franchise. Like they're together, and I feel like Westbrook just needs a home. Like I was home, but we all know the Clippers was a rocky fit. But I'm glad they got out of there. I think that this move Nuggets is definitely going to help him. CP3, I'm glad that he's not on the Warriors anymore. He didn't really need to be, and he has a role with an older coach. Like at the end of the day, I feel like this is going to help him as a player. And if
Mm-hmm.
this is all we have left of CP3 and work, like I'm super grateful, but I'd be even more grateful if they just won that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But that was definitely my two guys, and
Yeah.
shout out to them, bro. Because at the end of the day, it's just like we again we could sit up here and clown them, like for not winning and stuff, but they've also not won, but also like left a lot like behind for the game. Like we're always gonna remember them. Like I don't see a world where we just forget about those players. So even Derrick Rose, bro, like what? I think about that all the time, bro. Especially like in middle school, like he was the only like his jersey was like the hottest jersey out. Like, and they had so many different combinations for jerseys and stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
that Bulls Knicks rivalry, like it was, bro, it was just a great time, bro. Honestly, and I'd get if you're talking about you'll give whatever LeBron win, I'll give whatever. Just see him in his prime, and
My. Yeah,
who
it's just
knows?
like
Who
for
knows,
like
bro? I think about that all the time. Where would he rank? How much of an impact will he
I've
have
I've
on the league right
I've
now?
I've had so many hypothetical conversations about what Derrick Rose could have been able to develop into if he
Literally.
stayed healthy. It's just like it hurts
His
my
potential
heart
was
to
through
even
the
talk
roof,
about these
bro.
things. It's like you
Through the
can't
roof.
like it hurts to talk about because like what happened. He can't get back to what he used to be. Now you only hear him like him being a vet to like John Morant, and it's just like you see what the fuck is going on with that bullshit. But
Yeah, he played for my team for the longest. I was just like, like, obviously, like I fuck with the fact that we have Derrick Rose, but it's like you just wish that you had the best Derrick Rose. You know what I mean? Like not this, like I'm gonna go out there, drop my 16, 15 points. Like, nah, bro. Like I miss that explosive Derrick Rose that like I can get from here to down the floor, like that. Like, bro, like I need that back. But
yeah, I
but
mean, at least people was giving him his flowers when he dropped 50 when he played with the Timberwolves. Like for me, Derrick Rose is there's a lot of other
he's
point
a
guards.
staple in the NBA, bro. He's another player that's just never gonna be
It's just
forgotten.
like
You know?
hopefully, bro, because like
Like I'm
one of
still
these
glad
days,
that he still he be getting a contract like he still be managing
yeah,
to get a contract because anybody just wants Derrick Rose in their locker room, bro. Like his presence is just like, bro, like he only brings good to the NBA. So it's just like why not have him around, and he can help
exactly.
these young guys, like you said, John Morant, like. bro, like why wouldn't
You
John Morant
know,
want to get advice from somebody that, coming into the
like
NBA or even when like a
when he
comparison?
came in, he was like basically almost the same player as
Compared,
Ja. You know,
exactly.
but
That's dope.
alluding to what you just said, helping other people in the league, kind of want to get into like older NBA players who we can see transition into the modern NBA. You know,
Mhm.
you have like I know you got two people, I got two people. You want to go ahead and start us off with one?
Yeah. So two players that I have that had an impact back in their time in the NBA,
Which is
and
one for right now.
but all right, I'll say yeah. So all right, so I'll start off with my one. My number one, I'm gonna have to go with my point guard, and I'm gonna have Penny Hardaway. Why go with Penny Hardaway, when he came into the league, Penny in his first year, he averaged 16 points. Second in rookie of the year, he actually came runner up to Chris Webber, who I'm going to get to. He had a season where he averaged 21. That's his second year in the league, and he actually went to the finals with Shaq. They got swept, but they beat Michael Jordan. Like that shit back then was damn near impossible. Came back, he where he averaged two, improvement. At the end of the day, it's just like mine just scoring from just one area. Like, he's doing the all around game. He's facilitating. He's holding it down for, a lineup where it's just like it's him, Shaq, and like everybody else. Let's be real. His fourth year, 20.5, and he's over here, making all-star games. His first 4 years, he made three all-star games. And that's good. Like that is very good. That means that you're doing something right. If you're coming into the league and you're already having that impact as an all-star. And literally, like for 5 years, like he averaged a combined basically 19.7 points, and he averaged 6 assists with 4 rebounds, and 6'7", 185. You look at players now in the NBA, that's kind of like the standard in the NBA. Like, tall point guards, Cade Cunningham, LaMelo Ball. Um, who else?
Tyrese.
Tyrese Halliburton, yeah, facts, 6'5". Like, like players like that. Harden, 6'10", 6'6", literally 6'6". And like that's kind of like it's like just like the evolution of just basketball in the NBA. That it's just like, the taller you are, the more that they give you a look now. And I feel like his game would have translated to the modern NBA because I feel like he had that great game. He had that finishing. He already had the making. I feel like he matches a lot of the players' swag, like that John Morant swag, shit, even that Derrick Rose swag, and like I feel like he would have been able to even generate like a lot of love from the youth, especially because he's one of those players that like every time he had the ball, he was making a highlight. But like you look at, a player like that, his athleticism and his physicality too. He had a game in the post. A lot of point guards now, like they're like they start chucking too much. Sometimes they shoot themselves out of games. He's a player that I felt like he had shit under control. He was never getting sped up too, like just too much. He was playing at his own pace. And obviously we weren't there to see it, obviously weren't born and stuff, but you look back and you do your research and you really start to see like players in his generation were saying that he was the Kobe before Kobe. He came in polished. He came in ready to go, and the second name that I'm gonna get into is so happens that they both got traded for each other at draft night, and it's Chris Webber. But I'm gonna let you go and then we can get into Chris Webber. But Penny
So
Hardaway, if y'all don't know, please go and do your research. That guy was a dog. And if you really, really like to see that, just a point guard that could literally just like he could have a post game, he could play out in the perimeter. We were talking about that just yesterday. He shot 32% from the three. That's not bad, especially when they didn't like heavily like rely on the three ball. I feel like in the NBA now, like all he would be doing, well, not all, but like the most he would be doing is working at least on his jump shot. And I feel like shit, he could be a 35, 36 percent 3-point shooter, or an average league, 3-point shooter. And who knows, bro? Like that helps,
mhm.
and especially in a league where, at that time it was just like, they're really just playing in the post, mid-range area, or the high
a lot of
elbow.
a lot of a lot of driving and kicking and
Yeah, a
driving.
lot of handoffs, a lot,
Mhm.
triangle offense, like you said. And yeah, bro, like Penny Hardaway, bro.
Yeah.
That guy.
You know, one of the players I feel like from the older generation. I mean, not that old, but like still kind of like couple like good years away.
Yeah.
Peja Stojakovic. He was drafted in 1996, but he didn't really get to play until 1998. Because for those 2 years that he didn't play, he was over there in Greece,
Mhm.
a little contract situation that he couldn't get out of.
Yeah,
But
I remember hearing about that.
yeah, I'm pretty sure if I'm not mistaken, I think he won like best player in that, like basically like MVP in that league that he was playing in for those 2 years.
Oh, okay.
But Stojakovic, he's listed at 6'10", 290, I mean 229. Like that's a big body,
Yeah,
you
for
know.
real.
Like, but you hear that, right? 6'10", 229,
Bro, I hear it. I
and
hear
he
it, bro.
played the small forward position.
And think about him in the league now. Everything is positionless now. Anything,
So,
like literally, bro. Like imagine like
like,
you throw him
bro,
in a lineup now and
you know,
you give spacing, and he can do
ridiculous.
wonders for you. That's another thing I didn't get into with Penny. You give him spacing and you give him a dominant big man.
I mean, he would be the
Sheesh.
one giving the spacing if he
Sheesh.
just developed his jump shot. He would be giving the team spacing, and like he would
Not
be the
for
one
real.
that.
But
But
like he's also a
speaking
player
of
that can get them
spacing,
in his spot in
right?
their spots. Yeah.
Yeah, but speaking of spacing, some of Stojakovic's strengths are, he was a great free throw shooter. For his career, he shot 89% from the free throw line.
That's really
You
fucking
know,
that's really fucking good.
he was a great 3-point shooter. Shot 40% for his career.
God
Like
damn.
yeah, like that's crazy. You know, he had like 2 seasons where his peak attempts was
Hmm.
like for like the average was 6.8 attempts of like shooting from three.
God
And
damn.
in
They
those two
fucking trusted
years,
for the three
and
ball.
in those 2 years, he shot 43%, 44% from three in those 2 years that he peaked at his averages.
Fucking
And
bugging. Playing out
he's
his
shooting
mind.
like that, and but like the way he was shooting it, it would be like handoffs, right?
Yeah.
He'll get the ball for handoff, boom, cap like shooter right off the rip. His jumper wasn't that fast because he had like a load,
Hmm.
but it didn't matter because he still got it off. And even if you contested him, he still was making it. You
Yeah.
know, he was shooting a lot of catch and shoot jumpers too. It was just like, like if he was open, it was basically knockdown. And
Yeah.
and even if you tried to contest him, like I said before, like after catch and shoot, if you feel like you got enough contest off, he fuck around still make it anyways. You know, but he like he could shoot and everything. He could dribble a little bit, but he wasn't amazing at it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like if need be, he could take you off the dribble a little bit. A little pull up here and there, 1-2 dribble pull up. He could probably do that. I'm pretty sure actually no, he could do that.
Yeah,
It
for real.
wasn't consistent, but
He could. Yeah.
um, and even if you did lock him up, you made him pick up his dribble.
Hmm.
One of his best, like I said earlier, his best shots that he took were off handoffs.
Hmm.
So all he would like he would literally pass it to his teammates off of him picking up his dribble, reposition,
Yeah.
and then get the ball back and shoot it and make it.
Shit. We got
Like
I'm not making any comparisons here, but hey, we could talk about somebody that made a career off of playing like that, Clay Thompson. Literally.
and literally that
That
like
little handoff, yo, I'm gonna set you a screen from Draymond. That shit was lethal. He would be wide
that
open
was
and just cashing.
that's literally one of the people I was going to compare him to. But like
Yeah.
the crazier thing is, I'm pretty he weighs more than Clay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, and he's taller than Clay at 6'10".
Yeah.
Like think of Clay Thompson at 6'10" and a little bit heavier. Like
Not for
maybe
real.
not the same defense, that prime Clay was, but
Yeah.
like, bro, you're gonna get good enough defense from somebody who's like with that stature,
That's a
you
fact.
know.
How tall
And
was he again?
you said what?
How tall is he again?
Six
How
ten.
tall? 6'10".
Yeah.
Jeez.
And with the type of shooting he provided, he was gonna give whatever team he's on great spacing, because his shooting ability demanded that you needed to be on him at all times. And like if you was if you were to make rotations, if you rotated off of him, it was basically like, yo, just give him a free three.
Damn.
Like,
A free three. Hell, that
like
and this NBA, give him a free three is will be
exactly. And like the average height in the NBA as small forward position is like 6'7". So if he's playing small forward in today's league at 6'10",
mhm.
there's not that many people in the league that are starting that's going to be able to contest a shot, because going to be able to shoot over them. Just how
Hell
like somebody we know, who's like, he says he's 6'9", but he's really like 7 foot, like seven. You know what I mean? Kevin
yeah.
Durant, he shoots over everybody. You
Yeah.
know, and you're gonna
Yeah.
contest them, or yeah, you think you contest them, but in reality, just like you didn't really mess up a shot or anything.
Yeah.
And
He was just missing.
to finish speaking about Stojakovic, like I feel like a team that he could like play for that's pretty good. Like it like they both complement each other, the team and him, his style of play is the 76ers, playing alongside Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, Joel Embiid. Just like imagine
Yeah,
having
that would be crazy. That's
Tyrese
good
at
too.
PG and then Paul George at shooting guard, you or if you want, depending on how you want to play Paul George, if you want him to still play guard, you know, the best guards in the game, or if you want him to take a back seat real quick defensively, just put him at small forward and then put Stojakovic at power forward. But regardless, you have Stojakovic who's 6'10", small forward. He can shoot the lights out. All these three players I just named provide amazing spacing
Yeah.
for somebody who's going to be obviously dominant in the paint, Joel Embiid, where
And it
you
helped.
can't throw a double team, a triple team at him, because you have Tyrese, Paul George, and Stojakovic on your team. It's like, come on, bro. So
Like
like,
in a world where all those players just know their role and where they know where they need to be at, that team is lethal, bro. That team is very, very lethal, especially in the modern NBA. Obviously, if that lineup stays healthy, shit, who knows where they go. But to transition to my second player, like I've already mentioned, the guy he got traded for, Chris Webber. Now, many people know that name. A lot of real basketball watchers, they know who that name is. He's a Hall of Famer. You might probably think like, hey, why is Darwin mentioning him? He's not really one of those players that that you wouldn't think that would translate in this league. This is one of those players for me that I look at as a stretch big. That if the second he puts the ball down, like he puts one dribble, he can surprise you, and you don't know what the fuck he's gonna do next. Chris Webber was explosive. He was able to what's it called? To expand his range, give his team spacing in the era where spacing was not like literally impossible. Like
it
to
was
get
like
spacing
non-existent,
back
basically.
then was literally fucking hard. Like for somebody to respect you from the three, it's like what you're saying. They would have to be patient and like page you in order for them to respect you. He'll definitely switch it up on you. He'll take it to the basket. He'll play that physical game in the post. And he made a career of that. He's 6'10", another 6'10" basketball player, 245, bro. 245. We talk about players that are 250 right now. Zion Williamson. We literally see that if it wasn't for literally obviously him and just health issues just along the way and injuries and shit, we know Zion could be out here dominating. And I honestly feel like Chris Webber would be over here performing better than Zion because Zion, I feel like he doesn't take enough thought into his 3-point shot. And I think that can expand his game from God knows how long. I feel like Zion needs to change it up. But to stay on topic on Chris Webber he was known for one of the players that he was just most versatile as one of the power forwards and the centers of the league. And the league that he's this positionless, that he's so many positions that he could play, and like just given the situation, the situation just in the game, like you could throw him in there, you could probably run him like from small forward, literally what you just said, a pager, small forward, power forward. Like you could put Chris Webber at literally small forward, power forward, center, and he's over here banging with your bigs in the league right now. Don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong, you look at a big like Embiid, you're gonna need a lot more. Like you're gonna need some help down there. But bro, like to say that he can't just come out here and be a stretch big, a reliable stretch big that he was never scared to put the ball on the ground. And his rebounding numbers, like obviously we can get into that, but like he had seasons where he averaged 24, 25, 27. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was out here getting to it, like getting to his buckets. And I feel like he'll probably be even just more efficient, you know? And I feel like in the NBA right now, where a lot of teams are putting their players in a position where it's just like it's making it easier for them to find their roles. I think Chris Webber in the modern NBA right now, he would find just a home playing for shit. Any team that's willing to have a 3-and-D big that can run down on the floor, play defense, give it all he got. And he was one of those like emotional players that he actually showed emotion. Like, you know what I mean? He'll get a nice dunk on you and smile on your face. Like, he was really about that shit. So like he just gives me every reason to think that he would be killing and dominating in this league right now. And shout out to him because at the end of the day, like he's a Hall of Famer. So like to other people, they might not be surprised, but shit, you look at his game and you just imagine if you had him on your team. Instead of a team, shit. But yeah, my two players. Um, and bro,
And
like if we really want to get into like, I probably have to think about Chris Webber, like a team that I would want to see him fit on, but shit. Penny, you throw him on the Suns right now. Let's say you move Titus and fucking Beal to the bench, and you give me Penny, Book, and KD. Sheesh, I'm not complaining at all, bro.
I
I
mean, who
like
wouldn't
that team for
complain? But
him.
like, how realistic is that though? Like,
I mean, yeah, but like you gotta. I mean, obviously it's not realistic, but you gotta think about it. Like it's a hypothetical. Like yo, like shit, I wish I could see that. Because you never know, bro. There's too many players in this league that we want to see play together, but they never will.
yeah,
That's just the truth. But again, bro, like I love questions like that. Like, oh, like how would he translate in the modern NBA? Because, bro, like a lot of these players, like they had a lot of skill and like games where it's just like they were doing shit before like it was even like popular and shit. Like,
hmm
and like
and I'm
obviously,
glad you said that because my actual next person who I wanted to speak about is somebody who was doing like something that the modern NBA would like every team wishes they had.
yeah.
I'm gonna just go it off and say he was like a Steph Curry archetype before Steph Curry. There's a bunch of Steph Curry archetypes in the league from the past NBA. One is Pistol Pete. That's not the guy who I'm speaking about currently, but that's one of the guys. And but the guy that I'm talking about is his name is Abdul Rauf. You know, yeah, this guy he was drafted in 1990. He's somebody who's listed at 6'1", 162 pounds, and mainly played the point guard position, right? So he was, he drafted by the Denver Nuggets. When he played, he didn't average any crazy numbers, but he
Yeah.
did have like amazing games where he would pop off. Like if you just go real quick and take some like time to look at his films, like you would see like he was really the truth. Like he was somebody to like it was a spectacle. He was like it was you were just amazed watching him. You know, just like Peja, right? Abdul is also a really good free throw shooter. For his career, he shot 90% from the free throw line. Kind of
Yeah,
reminds you of somebody like Stephen Curry,
that's
like
not
somebody who shoots high percentages from the free throw line,
not for
automatic, right? It was somebody say when you say that somebody's a Steph Curry archetype, you obviously the first thing that comes to mind is 3-point shooting, right?
yeah.
Which is something he could also do. Now, his career averages don't do him any justice on 3-point shooting, but for his like his best like 3-point shooting seasons, he averaged like of 5.4 attempts from the 3-point line per game,
Okay.
and he borderline in that season shot 40% from three.
Another 40% three-point shooter. That's
So like
actually,
you give him 6 attempts from the 3-point line,
bro, that's
and
our spot on NBA
and
teams
that's
right.
what 6 attempts
Like
from back
literally
in the
right
day.
now. Bro, like again, bro, like yes, like the three ball is obviously so like the evolution of the three ball in the NBA, it's like at an all-time high right now. Every kid just wants to chuck up threes, every high school player, every college player, shit. Even players in the NBA, bro. And and obviously that's not a bad way to, come into the league, wanting to do that because obviously it's so important. But what you just said, it's not just that. Like these players, like they just brought so much more. And it's like what I was
Mhm.
alluding to earlier. It's just like for you to just have it down like that, like, and like other players are looking at you, like just even your own peers, like they're looking at you and like, damn, like he was advanced even before like Steph Curry started doing all of this shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, and obviously, like, he's not gonna come out now and be like, "Oh, I was the pioneer for 3 pointers and shit."
You know,
But you
he's gonna be humble.
but you just said that he played in the 90s, so he was clearly doing this before Steph. So obviously he was doing shit that obviously Steph Curry has obviously grown to perfect. But bro, the fact that we're here thinking about players doing shit before like just the modern players that we see playing right now is that says a lot
Like
of just the league
like
and it's like
this
it's in good
skill
hands.
wise.
Yes.
A couple of months ago, I know we was making the jokes about we done with the '90s, but if you go take a look, some of these players were like they were bucket getters, man. Like
They were far too advanced, bro. And some of them, like, like we literally were just saying, like, some of them, like, their careers just got cut short because of injuries. Like, I didn't really get to say that for Penny, but like, Penny was one of those that, like, his first 5, 6 years was just like he was like on top of the world. Another player, Gilbert Arenas, like he feels like he only really had like 3 or 4 years that he was really out here like making a name for himself. And then
mhm.
a few injuries away, he
And
starts to
then
fade out.
one little situation that was misunderstood, but
Like shit's ass. It's ass because it's like T-Mac, like cut short because of injuries. Like you're sitting up here and you're just like, bro, like where would he rank if he didn't have to deal with injuries and shit? Or
mhm.
like T-Mac's like a big name that a lot of small forwards and just pure bucket getters in the NBA like just say time and time again. Like his game was far too advanced, but we look at that skill set and you're probably like, damn, like he's another name that Darwin or John should have mentioned. Like, feel me? Like he's on that list of just like, bro, like these are players that if they're given the chance, especially right now,
Sky's the limit.
exactly. We did the
But
same thing because we know, bro. Because we know, bro.
but
That shit would be crazy.
to get back to Abdul, right?
Yeah,
You know, he wasn't just only a good 3 point shooter.
that's
He could create his own shot. He had a really good handle. He could drive to the basket. These are all things that if your point guard had on the current like whatever team you have, is something you wish he could do. Like your point guard could initiate the offense, get you in his here and there, but also create his own shot at a
yeah,
high clip. All right, like create his own shot, making those shots at a high clip.
at a high clip.
And his presence on the floor just demanded a lot of defensive attention. Which with that being said, like he would like it would leave his other teammates open, and leaving his other teammates open. He was like he's the point guard of the team. He's gonna initiate the offense. He's
That's
obviously
more
gonna get
opportunities for everybody to
the
eat.
ball to score.
Yeah,
You know, and he was he. I wouldn't say you know like he was a bad passer because he wasn't. He wasn't the best passer, but he was a really decent one. Like I think like his peak assists per game average was like 6.8 assists per game.
I'll be honest with you, bro.
And like
A point
I
guard
think that
doing
was like
that
the season.
now, you look at that and you're like, yo, that's pretty good. Like, I'll be honest with you.
And I'm pretty sure that same season that he averaged 6.8. I might be mistaken. I'm not sure. I should have, did a little more research. But I'm pretty sure when he averaged at 6.8, he also averaged like 19 points per game. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So yeah, but he also did all of that, which I don't think a lot of people knew, which I didn't know until I started like doing my research. He had Tourette's, right?
Oh, he did. He did. He did.
So he would be on the court like having these spasms. But
Didn't he say there's something about like he learned to master that or some shit?
yeah, so
Like
like that's what I'm
halfway
saying.
through
Like
it?
even though he had this little thing going on with him, he like in an interview he said himself that it made him a better player because
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
it
yeah, I remember
forced
seeing that. I
him
remember seeing that.
it forced him to perfect his craft.
Yep.
He said because of this, he would literally practice for 1 or 2 hours longer just to make sure he had this down packed. And he even said, like, when he was shooting the ball, like his condition will make him like the way he shot the ball, it would make him want to shoot it a certain way. He would be like, oh, it didn't feel right if I didn't shoot it like this and it came off the glass and it went in, or it didn't feel right if I shot it this way and it didn't go like hit the bottom of the net. Like so, like he's really sat here for hours on end just perfecting his craft, and it shows, when like like at that time, like a small guard wasn't really like the main offensive like powerhouse that would get you a chip, because that like it was mainly like wings and centers that would try to get you like a chip. But like I was saying, he was one of those pioneers, the one of the Steph Curry archetypes from back in the day that like you say, Steph Curry perfected. Like
Yeah.
somebody like Abdul, where initiates the offense, is a 90% free throw shooter. You
90.
know,
Yeah, 96. Yeah, he had a season where he shot 90%. I
so
mean, not
it's like
96% from the free throw line. And
you
you was
know
right about what you said earlier. He averaged at his peak, he averaged 19.2, and if you round his assists, he averaged 7 assists. That's pretty
exactly.
good. I'll be
You
honest with you.
know, he
That's
did
pretty
all
good.
that with that medical condition. It's just like
But we
so.
also know that the scoring back then isn't the scoring now. Like we look at a 19.2, but like obviously his play style, how you just explained, like how it would translate in this NBA. Obviously, more points.
Yeah,
Obviously, like who knows like what his numbers look like. But this is why we ask questions like that, because you literally just telling me that, like that made me think of like literally Steph Curry. Like I've heard on multiple occasions, Steph Curry will literally talk about his form and how he releases the ball and like what he's looking at when he's releasing the ball. Like like a lot of people shoot that shit and like I hope it goes in. Like he has his own mechanics and his own routine where it's just, like he's mastered like literally the three ball. And
exactly.
who knows if he came in like with Steph Curry, let's just say they got drafted together and shit. And then like they might be the two biggest pioneers for the three ball. But I definitely get what you mean because a lot of people don't hear that name. A lot of people really just don't. But to know that and to know that he had his own way of dealing with like Tourette's, like that's pretty like bro, that's like a condition, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like that's something that you wake up every day and you got to deal with. And that's
And,
just not.
and like Hoopers know his name, but the casual fans
Nah,
might not
yeah,
know his name.
facts. Of course,
But
yeah.
I know somebody, like, before I finish off talking about him, I know a name that people definitely know:
What's
Michael
up?
Jordan. You
Duh.
know, there was a game. I'm not like again, I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure like I did see a game where he dropped 50 on the Bulls. Could be mistaken, it might be a little bit less, but it was around that ballpark of like 35 to like 50, around there. He dropped that on the Bulls in the era where the point guard really wasn't like the go-to like number one option for a team. You know what I mean? Like he just like the people's GOAT, and he was the like world class defender. So it's just like
Yeah.
somebody who's 6'1", like 162 pounds, being able to do that off the dribble, doing like you know what I mean, like just getting buckets on
Yeah.
somebody who's this like best wing guard defender to a lot of people. Like it just speaks volumes of like the capabilities he had at that era, which
That's a fact.
people always say that era was the best defensive era, and he was doing that at 6'1". But it was unfortunate what happened to him, because not only was he dealing with his condition, he ended up getting blackballed by the league, for political bullshit, where his career was cut short, you know.
Yeah, that's so
But
it sucks because it's like we literally just spoke about this. Like players literally get themselves caught up in shit. And sometimes like shit just starts to spiral out of control. And like that just fucks with your game, bro. Like
Mhm.
it's
but
unfortunate.
it wasn't like he was saying anything crazy. He was standing on what he believed in. Like,
Andre is somebody, and we know who you should know who I'm talking about.
say it again. What'd you say?
I said we should all know who what's it called? He's a big voice to the people. He like Kyrie Irving. Like he for a long time, like he was standing on what he believed, and we saw like how media can turn against him.
Mhm.
Nowadays everybody wants to be on Kyrie's good side, but like 2020, 2021, like around there, like nobody even wanted to really know about Kyrie, or if they did, they just wanted to know like is he gonna retire? Like you know what I mean? Like what the fuck, what type of time he's on? But
Mhm.
just like damn, bro, like it's just too
It's
many
ridiculous.
players, too many
It's
players.
like it's too many players that like careers have just been altered in a negative light that
And
we
that's what
were
they get
robbed
remembered
of
as. And I
watching.
hate that.
Like
I
damn,
hate that
like
for them.
yeah, and like, we were literally robbed from watching greatness. Like all we want as fans is to watch amazing hoops. That's what we want
Basketball.
to see. And then when you get like when people just start like talking them down as if they're not like their own person, like they're literally a human being. Like they
Facts.
go out there every single day, putting their bodies on the line, you
Put to
know,
put on a show for us. They don't
for
even know
us.
just to put on a show for us fans, bro. Like uh, obviously, like like you just said, like it's not just wake up and go play basketball. Like these people gotta go deal with the fame that they have. Go play some basketball and whatever role that they're in. Sometimes, like certain players can't just do shit like just because of the role that they're in. And sometimes that's
Mm-hmm.
a tough position where it's just like you're getting attacked from the media, but like you go on the court and you don't feel like playtime you're supposed to be getting. You don't feel like you're not getting the plays run for you. Like a lot, bro. It's a lot to be in
Mm-hmm.
the NBA. And like it's like even like with just jobs in general, like there's gonna be people out there that are out looking for your job, bro. And you gotta do all that you can to stay in the league. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of us like to, like the second we see a player like in free agency and shit or got waived or got released, like the first thing we think is, yo, he's a scrub. Or this team didn't need him, or this, that, and the third. Like, bro, sometimes like it's literally like, what are you bringing to the team? Like, or what have you been doing for me lately? And we're in an
Mm-hmm.
NBA where it's literally just what have you done for me lately? It
Exactly.
sucks. It really does suck because there's there's a lot of veterans in the league right now that they deserve contracts on teams just because like they bring that edge. It doesn't matter if you were like you. There's some players that went to the playoffs like for a long majority of their career. Bro, bring that to a team that not that they have never made the playoffs, but bring it to a team that's just trying to get over the hump, and that can help.
Exactly.
Like Udonis Haslam, like for the longest, people were like, "Yo, what are they gonna do with him? Why does he keep like? Why are they even wasting money on him? Why are they wasting a spot on him?" But it's what he brought to that team, bro. Like, that voice needs to know be all right. Just stick to what we're doing. And a lot of times, and I give the Heat a lot of credit for that, is that like they kept him around as long as he could, like as long as they could. He got his own
Mm-hmm.
podcast. Shout out to his podcast where he's literally like over here speaking for literally the youth, and not only just the youth, but like nobody roots for the Heat more than him. Let's keep it a
You
buck.
know,
Like
he's a
he
Heat
had a
legend.
brotherhood with a lot of the players there, and he saw them in a different light. Like he saw the potential in those players, and luckily for him, like again, they never won, but the Heat have gave us some good ass basketball, like some
Talking about
magical
like
ass
recently.
runs. Yeah, the recently.
Yeah.
Because
I
to
mean,
be honest with you, I can't speak for him just as a player, you know what I mean? But as the vet, and that's what I was basically just alluding to, is that there's too many vets out here that they could just be helping in the perfect team that just needs to get over the hump, and that shit could take
mm-hmm.
you a long way.
And I'm
But
glad you brought up Udonis Haslam, a Heat legend, and bringing up
yeah,
the Heat.
literally,
That's actually a team that I feel like Abdul Rauf could actually play for,
yeah,
alongside
bro,
Jimmy Butler
yeah,
and Bam Adebayo. Like, think about it, like a person who plays similar to Stephen Curry, what that could bring to like the Miami Heat team, like
hmm,
somebody who can initiate the offense, get their own bucket, like somebody who demands defensive attention,
yeah,
pick and rolls with Bam. And then you got Jimmy Butler playing defense and him getting his own bucket and even
and
like
playing off ball, like you know what I mean?
exactly
Like
paying
I've
off
seen I've
ball.
seen Jimmy Butler play pretty good off ball, so I like why sit up here and think that he can't just go out there and perform, like what you
Like we know Jimmy
appreciate.
Butler's a team player.
He really
Like
is. Like, and I could give you about Jimmy Butler, like one trait that I feel like like just gets overlooked with him is that he's one of those players that they have like that heart. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm gonna uplift this team. It's not just gonna be like, oh, we didn't have a chance and like we're out of the playoffs. Like, nah, like Jimmy Butler's really out here giving his team a chance year in, year out. Like, we can say whatever we want about him in the regular season, how he's not like, this standout all-star player, but he's a riser. He's a playoff riser. Game sevens with the Boston Celtics, like, bro, like that team was built off like honestly, those two players, those three players, his name, that would be a crazy duo. You know what I mean? I can't guarantee Chip, you know what I mean? But that's a good fucking duo. I'll be honest with you. They're probably not gonna be my trio, you know, but it's fine, Shit happens.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, Abdul Rauf, just somebody it's like I said, playing
Remember that
alongside
name.
those two,
Remember that name.
100%. And as a matter of fact, if anybody wants to see an older version of Rauf play, he actually played in the Big Three League. There's clips of him out there, like of him playing, him actually like torching people who NBA legends of his time who played in that league. You
Isn't
know,
it crazy with like the big three? Like there's a lot of old heads that still got game. Like you know what I mean?
he's
Like
one
you
of
look
those
at like
people.
like like Mike Beasley. Like for me is one of those players. Like bro, this was a fucking bucket. Like I feel like every single time that it just so happens, like I feel like it's just out of coincidence. Like when I lock in on like Big Three or like I'll just watch it, like it'll literally be him there, like literally like frying up. And it's just like, bro, like sometimes like you just go a long time without hearing these names and you just think like they're at home sitting on their asses. Like these players still got a basketball in their hands. Like it's like you just said, like that Big Three, it helps. Like it shows like who really still got game. Obviously they're not playing for like a contract in the NBA and shit, but like, at the end of the day, they're playing for their name and what their name meant to just basketball in general. And again, bro, like obviously I'm not the biggest, I'm not all polished with him, as a player, but shit, man, like obviously based off of what you said, and obviously I just suggested to the viewers too, is just like, bro, like go watch his film. You know,
Mhm.
listen to what John just told you guys. Like John just told you and basically gave you guys a breakdown. And like you hear names like Steph Curry, and like any kid is running up to the screen to watch Steph Curry. Take some time and watch, the older players work. I know that, sometimes like the quality in the videos and shit, like, you might get tuned out and shit. But, if you're really into basketball and you really want to, expand just your knowledge of ball, like just watch that. Watch Chris Webber, watch Penny Hardaway. Even the
Watch
players like you,
Asia. Watch
yeah,
Abdul.
Asia. Like, it's crazy that you telling me that I didn't even know he was 6'10". Like, I didn't even know that. That's crazy. Like, right when you said 6'10", I'm like, shit. Like in this NBA, like because it's like we think 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot shooting. We're thinking KD, Embiid, AD. Like we're thinking of those. Not Giannis because I feel like Giannis don't really he don't got that three ball down yet. But there's
Somebody
room for
who was
improvement.
around that same height who was a shooter, you know, Dirk, maybe not the same type of shooting, but a
Nah,
stretch
Dirk
nonetheless.
used to get to it too. And Dirk's one of the pioneers for just the big men's being able to play out there in the perimeter. Shout out KD, shout out Dirk. Like
But
these players.
you did bring up something earlier that you said that I kind of low key want to end off with this.
Okay.
Um, when I end off, but like I mean, it's a topic that we could lead into the next episode where players we want to see play together before they retire, whether that be you know new players coming in or younger players like a younger player like Jason Tatum playing with somebody else, or somebody playing like a LeBron, like playing with somebody like with Stephen Curry before he retired, something like that, like whatever era. You know what I mean? It's just something to think about.
Okay. Um,
But I
I'm
mean,
happy.
we don't gotta get into it right now. We good.
Oh, okay. Oh, I
You know
thought
what I
that
mean?
I thought you were just setting me up to throwing the
Nah,
alley oop.
nah, nah.
All right, all right. Um, but we could definitely sit back, think about, obviously put some duos together, put some trios together that we really want to see. I know the way that I already want to do it is I want to be able to give some love to the old heads, to the younger generation, and then like you said, like upcoming players that they might not even be in the league yet or just 1 year away. Like shit. There's a lot. There's a lot,
Mhm.
and so literally, obviously, thank you everybody that saw this episode, and obviously keep watching us, keep supporting us, of course, like. We're taking all the feedback that we can, so don't be scared to just leave some comments, your honest opinions. Obviously, it's gonna help us go a long way. Um, and yeah, man, we're here cooking up some topics. We're
Yes,
obviously just
sir.
we're
You
obviously
know,
just starting, but like there's obviously constant growth, and obviously leading into the NBA season, like we're trying to give
mhm.
you guys as much topics as we can.
And
Keep
like
y'all.
what Darwin said, just like leave your opinions on how we like could improve. Not only that, just like leave some topics y'all want to see us talk about as well. Like
Yeah,
maybe something that
for
we didn't
real.
get to like talk about, or maybe we didn't see it this way, that and we just start talking about that, like just spark a conversation.
Or some players that you guys feel like don't get enough love, that you guys want to hear like a breakdown, you want to hear us kind of like glorify their, like, what they meant to basketball. Do that, obviously, like, we're ears. But thank you for tuning in. Obviously, John, thank you, my guy. You
Yeah, for
cooked up,
sure.
bro. You did what you had to
You
do,
gang.
bro. Like, and thank you for watching here for the talk, and we'll catch you guys next week.